Hi, I'm Rob, and welcome to the Electralander Project. What is the Electralander Project, you ask? Glad you did. I am going to turn this 1953 Cushman motor scooter into an electric bike. Before we start or get too far into this, I want to apologize for the bad production values. I am just a guy in my garage trying to convert a 60-plus-year-old motor scooter to electric. I am not sponsored by anybody. I don't have a studio and lighting and assistance and all of that. So if you're looking for really high production values, this is not the channel for you. On the other hand, if you are interested in watching just an average guy fight his way through absolute ridiculousness towards converting a bike to electric, this is the place for you. So why a Cushman motor scooter? Frankly, they're built brutally strong. They were built in Lincoln, Nebraska between 1935 and 1965, and mainly they were ridden in rural areas, down dirt roads, cross fields, just beaten to death, and they just keep running. And I was looking for a bike to convert that would be safe at the speeds I'm thinking of going. So what are the speeds I'm looking to go? I'm looking to go 50 miles per hour on the streets for 50 miles. That's my goal, 50 at 50. I work 30 miles from home. I could ride to work, charge at work, ride home, maybe do a little bit of my part for the environment, and have fun riding to work instead of being stuck in a car with all that glass and steel around you. Most of what you're going to see, the beginning half of the series, is going to be shot in flashback. Why? Because I never intended to make videos about this. I intended to buy it, convert it, ride it. That was the end of it. However, I bought the wrong bike. Not that I bought the wrong bike by buying a Cushman. I bought the wrong specific Cushman bike. Never should have bought that one. I let my emotions get the better of me. I had been on the lookout specifically for a Cushman Highlander because of the frame configuration for mounting all the batteries I thought would work best. And I found one, and I drove 7 hours out to look at it, and it just wasn't right. And I drove 7 hours home. And then 2 weeks later, I drove 6 hours out to look at another one, and it wasn't what I thought it was, and I drove home. And then I called on one, and I was all set to go look at it, and the guy called me like 2 hours before I was going to get in the car to leave, telling me he sold it to somebody else. So I'm like, I went on this one. I drove to St. Paul, Minnesota, and I looked at it, and I was looking for, had to be Highlander, had to be titled, and it had to run. And it met all three of those criteria. And there were things just nagging me in the back of the head, and I don't know a lot about Highlanders. I've only ever restored this Eagle to my left. So I didn't notice some things about it. I did notice it didn't have the right clutch on it. It had a Comet clutch on there that was mounted upside down and backwards. I didn't realize it was mounted upside down and backwards at the time, but it had a Comet clutch on there. I'm like, I'm not going to use the gasoline engine. The idea is I'm going to bring it home, take the gasoline engine off. This is why it has to be running. I'm going to put it on this bike to replace the engine that wore out. And I'm going to sell this bike and use it to finance my electric bike project. Yeah, well, I shouldn't have bought the bike. I brought it home. I took it out for a ride the next day, and the torque converter Comet clutch thing would bind up when it got in high range, and it wouldn't let the engine wind up, and it had top speed 29 miles an hour. 29. A 5-horse Highlander should be able to do 35 with a proper clutch on it. And at the end of my 2.5 mile ride, there was this horrible clunking noise coming from the back, and I pulled in the driveway. I got off the bike, I realized the clunky noise was the rear fender had fallen off the bike. And the only thing keeping it anywhere near the bike was the wires going to the taillight. This should have clued me in. I was in trouble. But I kept going. And the further I dug into the bike, the more little things like that I found wrong. Loose bolts, wrong bolts, just silliness. And so I started taking little 30-second videos going, oh, look at that. That's not good. Guess we're going to have to address that. Just so I could show my friends, having no intention of making a channel or anything. So the beginning, the first half of the project, the tear down, will all be shot in flashback. The bike has been already torn down. It has been, I just got it back from the blast shop in Kenosha, Wisconsin 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Got it back from the blast shop. Did an awesome job. I'm not sponsored by them, but they did a really nice job. Charged me a fair price to do it. And oh boy, did we find more things wrong once we blasted all the paint and Bondo and some other things off of it. So yeah, we are now at fully disassembled, and we are now starting the restoration that I had no intention of doing, and then into the conversion. So again, I apologize for the bad production values. If that bothers you, I apologize. You don't want to watch this channel. On the other hand, if you want to see all the ridiculousness that I found on the way to today, and this is the end of May 2020, and then follow me putting the bike back together, and then follow me finally converting it to electric and making an electric scooter, and see if, you know, an average guy like me can do this in his garage. This is the channel for you. I welcome you aboard. Welcome you along for the ride. I said at the beginning of the movie, I'd like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. Please, come along and watch the fun. Be safe, and I'll be talking to you soon.